सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अथ चतुर्थोऽध्यायः। श्री अर्जुन उवाच अपरं भवतो जन्म परं जन्म विवस्वतः कथमेतद्विजानीयाम् त्वमादौ प्रोक्तवानिति। श्रीभगवानुवाच बहूनि मे व्यतीतानि जन्मानि तव चार्जुन तान्यहं वेद सर्वाणि न त्वं वेत्थ परन्तप। अजोऽपि सन्नव्यस्यात्मा भूतानामीश्वरोऽपि सन् प्रकृतिं स्वामधिष्ठाय सम्भवात्म्यात्मया मायया। यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे।
Now you remember Mahabharat serial, yeah? Those two verses were chanted in the beginning of all episodes. That was a great serial. They did a wonderful job. So, all right, just a little recap. So, fourth chapter starts with Bhagwan giving the parampara of this knowledge. So first, in third chapter, he talks about karma yoga, what it does, what it is. And then, Arjuna didn't ask any questions, but as extension of that, so fourth chapter is an extension of third chapter. So Bhagavan says, okay, let me tell you, this knowledge is not new, what I'm giving you. I didn't make it up, I did make it up though from the beginning. So, so I gave this knowledge to Sun, who gave it to Manu, who gave it to Ikshvahu, who gave it to the other Kshatriya Rishi kings, that's what it is. So that parampara continued, but it's somewhere in the middle, it got lost. Maybe there were not enough takers for it, or people thought they don't need it. So that is how the parampara got changed. So I am restarting, I am giving it back to you and through you to the humanity, So now it will be a written document. So earlier, probably it was not a written document. So Bhagwan gave it verbally, and that's how it got lost. So, so that became responsibility of Vedvyasji to document all that. So in this one, there is a doubt that Arjuna has. He says, as far as I know, you were born a few years before me. So, and he is not skeptical. He is just curious. So there is a difference between skeptic and a person who is asking with curiosity or with a genuine doubt, that how come you gave this knowledge to Sun God while you are just new to this earth, So this is a doubt that actually brings the avatar vad in here, What is an avatar? So that is what this, the initial part of this chapter will talk about, So how we have to understand how Vedanta thinks about it, in this avatar vad. So what is the quality that we expect from Bhagwan? See, in many religions, there is a God. The concept of God is there in, most religions. I wouldn't say all, but most religions. So there is an entity which is outside the scope of our understanding. So that um, individual or somebody who understands all languages, that's first thing, who even the silence, even what is in my mind, but that he understands. uh, he is accessible to everybody. That means if I want to talk to Bhagwan should be there. I should be able to communicate with Bhagwan anytime, whenever I feel like, and Bhagwan should listen to me. So, and we are not in our scriptures, but in some places, there is an idea that he is sitting in some place called heaven, or whatever it is, that he's sitting in a big palace and everything is great about him. That's the nature of Bhagwan that we think about. And in some cases they think there is Ishwar, there is God, but God doesn't take avatar. That's not God's job, and he cannot take avatar, because two types of people think like that. One is who think he is only Nirakar and Nirgun. The other type of people is who think he is only supporting a certain community only. There are communities that think God is only going to take care. If you want access to God, then you become that, join the membership. You should have that card, membership card to their community. If not, then adios, you are definitely going to some other part, not that heaven. So anyways, because even Mimamsa doesn't believe in, they believe in Ishwar, but they don't believe in avatarvad. So this is what is the important part that we have to understand, because only in Hindu scriptures that we see the avatar as a manifestation of that Brahma which is unmanifest. It is kind of a very strange thing, but let's analyze this. We'll go slowly on this one so we understand. So now Bhagwan is going to define who he is, because this question is asked: how come you are able to give this knowledge to Sun God who was born at the creation time? Because of Sun only this rest of the creation has happened. So how come you were able to give that knowledge while you were born just a few years ago? Now Bhagwan starts to define who he is. This is important. Though it is already talked about in the second chapter. There was this verse, number 12. Natve vaham jatu nasam natvam neme janadhipa. There was no time when I was not there, you were not there, or these kings were not there. So they were always there. So Bhagavan has already talked about it. It's not something he's talking new, but he wanted to emphasize, because Arjun has a very short memory, like all of us. So he had a short memory, so Bhagavan had to remind him, कि ये जो है, this is not new, Bahuni me vyatitani, that we have had many, many lives, So it is not new. Janmani tava charjuna. I had many lives, and so did you, Arjuna. There is it's not like only I had, all this thing and you didn't. We both had, Bahuni maybe, lots and lots of those, Tanyaham Ved Sarvani. Veda means that knowledge. I have all the knowledge. See, this is where we call Bhagwan as Sarvagnya, right? That he is all knowing. That's because he remembers, he remembers everything. Tanyaham Ved Sarvani. I know them all. Natvam Vetha Parantapa. Oh Parantapa, oh the great one, the mighty warrior. You don't remember. Sorry to say that. But I remember all of that. Because Jeev has that nature, because we may remember past life, we may remember two past lives, but that's about it. We cannot go to the beginning of this, because the life of a jiva is different than avatar, and we will go through this in detail. So what is our expectation of Ishvara? So we talked about it. Ishvara should be close to us. Communication should be there. He should be able to understand us. Even without verbal communication, he should be able to understand, protect us, guide us. We also feel that, sometimes we feel that he's not available to us. Sunta nahi hai Bhagwan meri. Kyunki maybe I am not in that category जिनकी भगवान सुनता है, वो है ना एक गाना पुराना, आजकल वो इस तरफ देखता है कम, आसमां में है खुदा और जमीन पे हम. Anyway, just remember that. So it doesn't matter who you are, because because another way to look at it, that we feel that when Bhagwan is in a body, then he is Dehavan. He has a body which is made up of Prakriti, and he has Antakaran, which is also made up of Prakriti. Then how can he be different from me? Because if Antakaran is made up of the Maya, and the body is also made up of Maya, then how can, because our body is made up of that, right? That part we understand, right? We have gone through that before. So the difference is that when we talk about avatar, there are different opinions about it. So we can go through it in more details on this one. The body, when Bhagwan says, I have used my own Maya to take this avatar, because this is how Bhagwan is, Bhagwan is not depending. See, every jiva has a body because of his karma. Of past karmas actually give us this body, punya and papa. So my punyas give me a birth that is maybe a little better. With my papa, I may have a papa yoni, which could be a lower birth, as they call it. But it doesn't matter, because everything is it's a speck in the whole span of the life, the karmas, because the karmas is beginning from, karma is because of avidya. Because of avidya, this karma cycle is. Once I recognize that I have nothing to do with karma, then I identify myself with that Parabrahma. I recognize myself as Brahman. That is the whole goal. This is what the goal of our Vedanta, our Hindu scriptures is, that recognize who you are. That's it. There is no other goal. There is nothing to do. The doing is not our thing. But when we talk about Karma Yoga, we have to understand that doing is to remove or purify our thinking or cleanse ourselves so that our thinking becomes straight. And then this knowledge becomes available to us. I may have all the knowledge. I may have read every Upanishad, but I still feel angry. I still feel, I want to have things. I want to have money. I want to have, position. I want to be appreciated. All those things matter only when we are driven by our karmas. So that is the thing that we have to understand. Even if you take some examples from Upanishads, I made some notes here that define what Ishvara is, because that was a question that um, one time Nirupama ji asked. I think it was last time or maybe before that. In Aranyak Upanishad, it is said that he is the inner self of everybody. He's the Antaryami. So he is part of Adibhut, Adidev, and Adhyatma. So that means he is Antakaran, he is the physical thing, and he is also the unmanifest in us. So all that is Ishvara. Because of that, our existence is possible. It is the existence principle itself. It is and also in the same Upanishad, they talk Yagyavalkya and Gargi. So they had a dialogue. In that dialogue, he is explaining the nature of Ishvara as the controller, the ultimate controller of all. So he is the origin, he is the present, and he is the future. And everything which is sthavar jangamam. Sthavar jangam means things that move, things that don't move, which means everything, So everything is Bhagwan only, that Bhagwan is Sarvagnya, Jagat Upadan Karanam. That means it is the material cause as well as it is the efficient cause. Efficient cause means because of which we can experience things, where the sentiency is there. And material cause is what makes this the body and the antakaran, the B and the B and MI. So both all these things is possible because of that only. And in Ishavasya Upanishad, Bhagavan in the beginning itself says, Ishavasyam idam sarvam, that I am the essence of everything, Idam sarvam. Idam matlab this, sarvam, everything that you can say this. So anything that you can think about, you can experience or you can imagine, it all is Isha only. So, and same thing in Kena Upanishad, just some examples of that. So we think of Bhagwan as but we also think of Bhagwan as Akhilam Madhuram. Everything is sweet about Bhagwan. So he is like as that wonderful bhajan is there, that he is full of compassion. He's so he sees my suffering. He's the one who is going to alleviate that suffering. And also I have my doubt, is he really there? Is he going to take care of me? So that is how we perceive that. But what our Upanishads say is a little different. So even in Bhagavatam and others, Bhagwan has explained his own nature, that the one from where the universe has come from. So universe ka origin is Bhagwan only. And not just this one universe. It says karodo universe. Is like, as Tulsi Das ji has written, I don't remember the one, कि when Bhagwan, just क्या बोलते हैं उसको, पलक झपकते हैं तो करोड़ों यूनिवर्सेस बन जाते हैं उसमें, so that is the power of Bhagwan. So even Bhagwan says, I don't know my own powers. It is hard to explain, what I am. So we have now, just to recap, we have three ways to understand that. So one is Bhagwan is Nirgun Nirakar. Okay, that which is essence of everything, but unmanifest. The other is, it is Sagun Nirakar. It has qualities, which means it is compassionate, it is, it is listening to us, all that thing is there, but it doesn't have a form, And third is the Sagun Sakar. Bhagwan is the that he can take the form. He may or may not take the form, but he has, every form is Bhagwan's only, Jaise, what is that? Not Vishnu Sahasranam. Sahasra Sirsha Purusha Sahasrakshat Sahasrapad Sabhumim Vishvato Vritva Atyatishta Dashangulam. So, Purush Suktam. So, uske andar Bhagwan's qualities is every body, it says Sahasra Sirsha, that every head means everything that can move is his only. Every eye belongs to him. Every, Sahasra Sirsha, Sahasrakshats, Sahasrapad. So physical, mental, everything is Bhagwan only, in a form, So in Ramayana, Bhagwan is described with that he is the one controller of the Maya. Maya is the, see, yahan pe, in the next, we will see that, एक second. Bhagwan uses both Prakriti and Maya, and we'll talk about the difference about that also, though it is the same thing. But when we think about Prakriti, we think about that it is there, which is made up of all the 5 elements, and it has 3 gunas. But we don't see sentiency in Prakriti. But Maya, we think about it as the controller, as it is sentient as well. So Bahuni me vyatitani. So anyway, going back to the verse, I had many births, and so did you. But I know it all. You have forgotten everything. So, and why is it that you have forgotten? Why didn't I forget? Because your life is dependent on dharma, adharma, papa, punya, your karmas. Basically, your karmas are defining your life. And karmas have this peculiar qualities that they will make you forget. So this is the obstruction, why you are not able to do that. The more purified the mind is, the more you can remember. इसलिए हमारे जो ऋषि लोग होते थे उनको कहते थे त्रिकालदर्शी, right? That they could see the future, they could see the past. Trikal means that they could see both sides, past and future. And why was that possible? Because they had no obstruction. Their mind was pure, So they were beyond the dharma, adharma. They were beyond karmas. They have understood their nature as one with Bhagwan. So, any questions, Upar? Are we good? Because I am used to being interrupted. So I was asking if anyone has any question. Because we understand Bhagwan as Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, that's the nature of Bhagwan. But Jeev is bound with dharma. And dharma comes as a protection, not as a problem, So when we talk about जैसे नारद जी ने भगवान को कहा था, कहते क्या, सर्व स्वतंत्र न सर पर कोई, कि मतलब आप तो फ्री हो, कोई आपको पूछने वाला नहीं है, बट हमारे कर्म जो है वो हमारा वो हमको कंट्रोल करके रखते हैं, वेयर वी आर born, हाउ वी आर born, what we will get in this life, all that is predetermined by our karmas. But Bhagwan has no karmas, right? भगवान के तो कोई कर्म नहीं है. So how is he getting this body? So that's the कि जब आपके पास ना कोई कर्म है तो आपको शरीर कहाँ से मिलता है, because normally that's what they say, this body is your prarabdha. So how does Bhagwan gets his body? So let's read the next one. Ajopi san avyayatma, ajopi san, ajah api. Ajah means I am birthless. I am birthless, but api means though I am birthless. San avyayatma. Avyaya means that unmanifest. I am that which cannot change. So I am that Atma. Bhutani Ishvaropi San. That I am the Lord of everything. That Bhagavan is explaining to Arjuna his own true nature. Prakritim Swamadhisthaya. Prakritim Swamadhisthaya Sambhavayatma Mayaya. So I use my own Maya to manifest. So भगवान का जो शरीर है वो पंच भूतों से नहीं बना. That is one thing that we have to understand. Now किससे बना है वो? कहते हैं that is चिदाकार रूपा. भगवान्स everything about Bhagwan is chidakar only. Chidakar means it is consciousness manifesting as a body, as a antakaran. Everything is that, which is, we have to understand, because every body that is here, body means har ek sharir, every body is basically a product of their own karmas, their likes, dislikes, their punya, papa, all that, dharma, adharma, that decides what you are going to be. But Bhagwan is beyond all that. So that's what Bhagwan is saying, that that all the being Ishvara is that Ishvara of all pranis. Bhagwan is Ishvara of all prani. Api swam prakritim adhishthaya. So I am also, by controlling my own nature. Nature means I am the boss of this Maya. So I decide. कभी भी आ सकता है. जैसे कोई मूवी प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है कोई, तो कहता है okay, I am also going to play the character in this movie also. I am going to be the hero of this movie, or I am going to play some role in this movie. So he is in the background creating this movie as well as taking part in this movie. That example may not be very good, but you get the idea. So this Prakriti, Maya, Yoga Maya, they're all the same, So Atma Maya, that by my own Yoga Maya, by my own Maya, Sambhavami. Sambhavami means it is that I appear. अवतार जो है वो पैदा नहीं होता, वो प्रकट होता है. So भगवान प्रकट होते हैं. So in this case also, Bhagwan says, I appear, in this. So I talked about what is avatar body made up of. It is Chid Roop only. So Brahmaji makes everything, right? Brahmaji is the creator, but he is above Brahmaji, because Brahmaji to the chinti, the smallest cellular thing, it comes under Maya. So even Brahma ji comes under Maya. But Bhagwan is beyond that. So Brahma ji makes all these, thing possible. But when I say all these things possible, we have to understand from a Puranic point of view, but from a Vedantic point of view, we have to understand that this is the whole play that we are experiencing here is of Maya only. Maya makes us forget. Maya makes us appear as a boy, girl, old man, young man, kutta, billi, chuha, all this is creation of Maya. So it controls, it dilutes, it makes them not recognize their own true nature. That's what Maya does. What is our nature? Divinity. Our nature is divine. But we have forgotten that. And we think I am this body and plus antakaran, So, and I also think that I take birth, as though I take birth. But in Bhagwan's case, Bhagwan knows he is birthless because he starts with that. Ajopi, ajaha api, that I am birthless. But because of my own power, I just manifest wherever. भगवान से कौन पूछने वाला है ना कि आप पैदा क्यों हुए, आप कहाँ से आए, मेरी मर्जी, because he is the controller of everything. He wants next two verses Bhagwan will tell why he takes birth. See, अभी तो सिर्फ भगवान ने अपनी नेचर बताई है कि I am divine and I take birth at will whenever I feel like, because Ishwar is samashti. When I say samashti, it means, see, this is vyashti. This body, this mind, this individual is samashti, which is limited. When we say samashti, we are talking about unlimited. It's everything. When we can't define things, we say everything, So that is why we are. So this samashti is taking a small role in his own creation. थोड़ी देर के लिए आ रहा हूँ to do certain things, which we will discuss in the next two verses. And though I am in charge of everything, but I take it as a limited role in this one. So अवतार भी कई तरह के होते हैं, right? So there is Purna avatar, which is my Bhagwan is coming with his full glory, From the beginning, everybody knows he is Bhagwan, there's no doubt about it. जैसे कृष्ण भगवान है, he is like a Purna avatar. Ram is also Purna avatar, but he is a Maryada Purna avatar, because he is there to show an example of what a human should be like, So he expresses those qualities. Though he is Bhagwan, he is there to show his. Then there are some what is called as Kala avatar. There is some Ansha avatar. They come for a specific purpose. जैसे शुरू के हमारे अवतार जो आए, जैसे we had Varaha avatar, because the Hiranyaksh had taken the earth into the Rasatal, under the sea. So Bhagwan came as a boar to pick up the earth back above the water and kill Hiranyaksh on the way out. So that was Varaha avatar. Then we have Matsya avatar. So they came for a specific purpose. Then we have, and sometimes Bhagwan can come multiple in the same time period. Jैसे we have Ram and Parshurama. So when Bhagwan broke the Shiva Dhanush, at that time they have a dialogue, and he was carrying the Vishnu Dhanush. And he says, okay, if you are really avatar, then, iske upar pratencha chadhao, you show me, just use this for my satisfaction that I have found the avatar again. So Bhagwan doesn't even have to do anything. The bow moves to Bhagwan, you know. So Bhagwan says, okay, abhi kuch batane ki zarurat nahi hai. This is this is who I am. So, and then there are the other avatar is when Bhagwan takes place in our own heart, when Bhagwan manifests in our own self, you know. Jaise Hanuman ji is a great example, and we have great Hanuman Bhakt here, शेखर जी. सो जब उनसे पूछा गया कि भगवान कहाँ है, तो उन्होंने अपनी छाती फाड़ के दिखा दी. दैट्स इसको सिंबॉलिक ले लो, बट पॉइंट हियर इज दैट भगवान रिजाइड्स इन हिज हार्ट. सो उनका अवतार जो है वो उनके हृदय में है. सो वैसे ही हमारे भक्तों के हृदय में भी भगवान बसते हैं, यू नो. सो वो भी अवतार है. सो दैट इज ऑल्सो एन अवतार. Or the other thing is that Jiva is bound by Prakriti, right? And Bhagwan controls the Prakriti. So he is not controlled by the Prakriti. So now let's see why Bhagwan takes birth. So first thing is when Bhagwan takes birth. So in the 7th verse, this is the most famous verse, thanks to the महाभारत सीरियल. यदा यदा ही धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत. उस टाइम सब बच्चों को याद हो गया था, you know, those who were watching that serial. So that's a good thing, you know, कि जब जब धर्म की ग्लानि, you know, ग्लानि means decline. So whenever there is decline of dharma, whenever, yada yada, whenever it happens, glanir bhavati bharata, oh Bharata, oh Arjuna, oh Bharatvanshi, whenever there is a decline of dharma, abhyuthanam adharmasya, and there is a rise of adharma. They probably happen simultaneously, but this is what it means. Abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srajamyaham. See, I manifest myself. Tadatmanam. Atman means with my own ichha, I come. I manifest myself in this samsara by my own power. Whenever there is a decline of dharma and rise of adharma. And we'll do the second one also in this, then we'll explain both of them together. So the other is paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkratam. What is now Bhagavan says, why I take this birth. एक तो बताया when I take this birth, कि जब जब धर्म की, you know, when there is a decline of dharma and there is a rise of adharma, that's when I come. And then Bhagavan says, what is the purpose of my coming here? Paritranaya sadhunam. Paritranaya sadhunam means for protection, for saving the sadhu. And let's talk about who the sadhu is. But vinashaya cha dushkritam, और दुष्ट लोगों का विनाश करने. इसमें दो तरह से सोच सकते हैं. दुष्ट लोगों का विनाश मतलब either we can उसके अंदर से दुष्टता निकालना, you know, take away the sin out of the sinner, you know. So that is one thing Bhagwan does. And second is Bhagwan also has the power to eliminate that dushkratam, means people who are adharmi. Dharma samsthapanarthaya. Also, I am there to establish dharma once again, you know. So to re-establish dharma. So Bhagavan comes to re-establish dharma and sambhavami yuge yuge. And when do I come? anytime I feel like. But here says Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. It's not like every yuga I comes once. Some people translate it that way, but all it means is whenever there is this decline and whenever there is rise of adharma, that's when I manifest. And Sambhavami, that I take birth on my own accord. Nothing, is, हम भगवान से प्रार्थना कर सकते हैं as much as we want, but Bhagwan comes when he sees all that, he's seeing it all the time, so it's not like, let's do some dharma adharma vichar. what is dharma and what is adharma? So anybody wants to say a few things about it? What do you think is dharma?
I can say something. If we define dharma as what is my nature, then anything I do against my nature, that becomes adharma. So
okay. Anyone else? That's a good one. That's a really good way to express it.
रामचरितमानस says, परहित सरिस धर्म नहीं भाई, पर पीड़ा नहीं सम अधमाई.
Yes.
Means if you harass someone by thought, word, or deed, that is adharma. If you create pida for that, means agony and suffering, misery for the others in any form, that is pure adharma. And that's why Ramcharitmanas says that Go Dvija De Dhenu Deva Hitkari Kripa Sindhu Manusha Tanudhari. That's it.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So everybody in this universe, as Nirupamaji said, is following its dharma. The nature as is expected of that. Just a fire. Fire has two dharmas, It has the heat and the light. It does both, right? So they both belong to fire. You will never find a fire that doesn't have these two, as part of the dharma. Same way we have, sun. Now, sun's dharma is to give light and heat. Sun is doing that without even asking anything, in return. Bhagwan, it is very generously giving us the light and heat. So we don't have to worry about it. All the animals, they also follow their dharma. They will do things according to what they are supposed to do. And that is to keep the balance. That is to keep harmony in the universe. Air is doing its job, water is doing its job, everything is doing their job. So that is how the dharma is, that it is to bring the harmony and what do you call it? The
balance.
Sukham, yeah, and the balance, So these are all the things that the dharma has to do. Basically, whenever there is dharma, you experience sukham, you feel peaceful. When you are doing the right things, you feel very peaceful. And there is prosperity in that. We may not see it now. We think, okay, all these dusht log, they are being prosperous. But they may be, this is only temporary, what we see. So when we says sadhu naam, when the sadhu is in trouble, or when Bhagwan feels that the sadhu is not, they have started thinking erroneously. That means the sadhus, which are the embodiment of Bhagwan only. They are the ones who are supposed to teach dharma, and they are also getting distracted, or they are in trouble. That they are usually, a sadhu is the one who will never give up his goodness, even in the worst of situation. But once the adharma becomes so strong that the sadhus, that they have a difficult time in maintaining the goodness, that is when Bhagwan will say, okay, let me help out, let me manifest. And jo dharma adharma, where does dharma stay? They stay with people, with you and me. Dharma is, the more people who follow dharma, then this becomes dharmic. If more people start to become adharmic, then this whole society becomes adharmic. So that is how we have to see. Dharma is not a thing. It is not something outside of us. We are the carriers of dharma adharma, So that is something we have to understand. So when the adharma becomes strong, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Oh Bharata, when this righteousness is on the decline, which means there are more people or less people who are righteous. They are fewer and fewer in number. Sometimes we can ask, why there is so much adharma going on? Bhagwan aate kyun nahi? Why does Bhagwan not take birth at this time? So one is, that decision is Bhagwan's, not ours. Bhagwan has to make that decision. The other is, we have to, if we are not able to follow our dharma, that if I am good, I can still exist, right? Nobody is giving, trouble to me. So if I cannot stay good, if I follow my, dharma, and there are people who will make my life very miserable, then we will have a problem, Then we'll say, okay, now Bhagwan has to come. Only then it will be possible. So when atyachar is on the rise, when crime gets out of hand, and when protectors themselves become criminals, those are the situation. Jab Raja Chor ban jaye, then we have a problem, So so when and this problem is only with humans. Adharma koi जानवर नहीं करता है. Even if we think about the most, क्या बोलते हैं, predators, whatever, the lions or cheetahs, or, which we have fear of, or snakes or something, but they will not touch you if they are not disturbed, or if they are hungry, So in these two situations, they will do that. But they will only do whatever is necessary for their sustenance. They are not rampantly going with the AK-47 and killing people. I'm not giving example of anybody, but I'm just saying that this is not how the because this is only humans. Dharma, when we are talking about, we are only talking about humans here, So sadhu naam, that for those people who are trying to do good in the society, are trying to, help society to, जैसे भक्त लोग हैं, जैसे ज्ञानी लोग हैं, who are trying to spread this knowledge. So when they get into trouble, when they are in trouble, where, that is where the problem comes, when the communities are pitched against each other, so that's even in families, just in husband, wife, in-laws, kids, they are not able to get, have a harmony within a family, when that is difficult, then think about the society as a whole, because this society is nothing but an extension of who we are. So the more disharmony, the more distrust, the more what do you call it, the ill feeling towards others, when we see all as our own, then there is no problem. That is what dharma is. When you see extension of yourself in everybody. But when we start seeing enemy in others, then we have a big problem, So, because first it is in the mind. So first we start thinking that way, and then it comes in our behavior also. It reflects in our behavior, because we are going to, the only thoughts manifest as behavior, nothing else, we don't behave differently than our thinking, so though we say ahimsa paramo dharma, like Shekharji said, parahit saras dharam nahi bhai, there is nothing better than that you help out others, there is nothing better. And that ahimsa is only possible when we see oneness. Whenever we see differences, there will be hinsa. That is something we have to understand. That is what is the root cause of adharma, not seeing the oneness, even in partnerships, you have partnership, you come together, okay, let's do something together. But if there is a distrust, if you are not seeing oneness in each other, then there is a problem, There was one case, two partners were there, and one partner was dying. He was on the deathbed, and he said, please call my partner, He says, before I die, I want to clear my conscience, Says, what happened? He says, I cheated $10 million, And I just want to make sure I tell you so that my conscience is clear when I go from here. The partner said, you know what? Yeah, well, I'm glad you did that, but let me also clear my conscience, I was the one who gave you the poison because I knew you cheated me. So let me clear my conscience also. So as always, so that's talk about adharma. So it is adharma is not something that happens, because, or we can say it is happening in the society. It is happening within us also. When there is a disintegration between our thinking, mind and intellect also don't, that integration is the key that we have to understand, that if we want society to be integrated, we have to have integrated personalities, only then it will be possible. If our mind and intellect are not aligned, then we will see adharma rise, So anyways, so we are talking about sadhu, but let's go a little bit into the any question on dharma, adharma? Is it clear now?
The only question I was thinking is, you said animals don't have this dharma or dharma.
No, that means they don't control, they don't it's not like one day the dog becomes evil, you know. He's going to be who he is, because they don't have control over adding new karma. They are only exhausting. They are in the bhoga yoni. We are not in the bhoga yoni. We are in the karma yoni. So we are actually adding karmas to our list. The animals are freeing themselves actually, but we are not. We are
That's
actually,
because they don't have the option of like a decision making, or
they are driven by the nature. They are totally driven. They don't have the intellect to make a choice. It's not like you throw a stone at dog and he will not bark at you. That's how it will be. You know, he'll react. They are only in a reactionary mode. They are never into, अच्छा इसको कैसे cheat करें? How do I, play tricks on somebody else? That's not how they are designed.
Yeah, because thinking capability is not there. So, so they are essentially also following their dharma. If all animals are also born with their innate nature that we define as dharma. So they follow their innate nature, whatever that may be. The predators will attack the lower, animals and maintain. So they are also following their dharma. But when it comes to us, the thinking and discriminating, decision making, all that, we are empowered with all these other qualities, and we make use of those. So for us, dharma kind of extends. So one is our innate nature. Two, when we make a choice to do certain thing, and keep within the realm of doing right. So that's one. And the yet another extension of dharma for us is when we are executing our duties, whatever the duties for us may be assigned, and we're going by that. So for us, the dharma aspect gets, it's a very wide aspect for us. It has many sort of strands to it. So for us, dharma is not just our innate nature. It also comprises of the conscious choices that we make to do the things, to do our actions, and also how effectively or not we execute our duties. So all of that comprises dharma for us. But for animals, it's just their innate nature. So
I'll go in more details next time, because dharma is usually for two things, varna and ashrama, So it is not universal. So certain people have certain dharma, certain people have some other dharma. So जैसे soldier का dharma is different from a doctor का dharma, A soldier will use a knife for a different purpose and doctor will use a same knife for a different purpose, So they will both do their job. They will follow their dharma according to what is specified for them, A soldier has to fight. That's his dharma, उसके पास और कोई choice नहीं है. So does doctor. Doctor will do his dharma by providing better healthcare to the patient, So
parahit sarvapari hai, nahi?
Parahit is sarvapari, Even a soldier is doing parahit too.
Yeah.
He's protecting his own people, So that's one way to look at it. So, जैसे Kaurav were doing all wrong things, but they were very powerful and they were living in palaces, and Pandavas were doing all the right things. They had flaws. It's not like they didn't have flaws, but they had good intentions. Kauravas' intentions were wrong. Intentions were bad. They wanted to kill, destroy Pandavas. They would snatch their things, snatch their women, all kinds of evil intentions were there. So, but Pandavas suffered, so much. But Bhagwan was with them all the time, So that is something we have to understand, that even though we may be suffering outwardly, but if we have the clear conscience and we feel that we are doing the right thing, we will be at peace. We will sleep well,
So maybe one way of talking about dharma is our ideals that we set intellectually, and our emotions and our actions will all be completely aligned. There will be no conflict between them.
Correct. Not only that they are aligned, we are also seeing oneness with everybody around us too. That is also
okay.
Yeah. So if I am an evil person, then my mind and intellect may be together. That I have intellectually also succumbed to that. The definition of things change over time. Pehle tha honesty means that you keep your word. Whatever you say, you do. That's being honest. That you will not lie. You will not. Abhi somebody is taking bribe. But they'll say, okay, bribe leke kaam to kiya na. So that is being honest.
Yeah.
Dishonest means bribe bhi liya aur kaam bhi nahi kiya. So those definitions also keep changing, So, but the bottom line is that the intent and the actions also have to align.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
कहते वैसे भगवान का कोई दुश्मन नहीं है, इवन भगवान को आप गाली भी दो तो आपके कल्याण करते हैं, that's nature of Bhagwan, it's in Tulsidas ji says that, सुनु सुरेश रघुनाथ स्वभाव, कहते सुनु सुरेश रघुनाथ स्वभाव, निज अपराध सिरसी न काऊ, कि भगवान doesn't take, कि आपने उनको गाली दे दी, कुछ बुरा कह दिया, भगवान को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है. जो अपराध भगत कर ही, अगर कोई उनके भक्त के साथ कुछ बुरा करता है, राम रोष पावक सो जरई, वो उनके गुस्से से जलता है. फिर वो जलता मतलब पावक मतलब उनकी आग, उनके गुस्से की आग से he can destroy that, that's Bhagwan's nature. So anyways,
कोटि विप्रवध लागई जाऊं,
कोटि
विप्रवध लागई जाऊं, आए शरण तजई नहीं ताहूं, सन्मुख होई जीव मोहि जबहि, जन्म कोटि अगन आसई तबहि. I mean, कितना भी पाप किया हो, उसका दिमाग में नहीं, he doesn't register that.
one doesn't count that कि इसने कितने पाप किए हैं. But once you are भगवान के सन्मुख हो गए, मतलब you have accepted Bhagwan, you are Bhagwan forgets everything. Bhagwan is too kind. Yeah. So कहते हैं पाप का विनाश साधु लोग करते हैं और पापी का विनाश भगवान करते हैं. So साधु का भी कुछ काम होना चाहिए ना यहाँ पे. साधु का काम है to spread the good things, What is the right thing to do? Where do we learn it from? From sadhus. Or the one who is doing it is a sadhu. So, and the last part of it was dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So, I am coming. Yugo, matlab multiple times I come. There is no like Dashavatar, or in Bhagavatam there were 24, but in Bhagavatam it says it's infinite number of avatars. This is 24 is to just some stories we are telling, Kagbashundi ji ne kaha कि I have seen 6 times pralay, the Mahapralay. मतलब he's क्या बोलते हैं उनको वो था ना what do you call it कि he'll never die. He's
Antaryami? No.
not Antaryami. He's like he will live forever. He's one of those
Chiranjeevi.
Chiranjeevi का अवतार था. तो but he has seen 6 Mahapralay, and he says, I saw Bhagwan in different roop in avatars. Same Bhagwan. So Bhagwan also comes whenever he feels like. But he was only focused on Bhagwan Ram. So he was, anyways. So we will stop here and continue this wonderful chapter. This is a really nice, sweet chapter, So you want to conclude and we'll close the recording too.
पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः